We got the whole linkage pulled apart, and I'm gonna get these bearings out. Yeah, these are in desperate need of being changed. That bearing's shot, and I bet you these other bearings are shot too. So I'm gonna use a smaller socket to push the bearing out, and I'm gonna use a bigger socket to go around the bearing and catch it. That one's not in too bad of shape, but that one's definitely shot. The vise didn't work, so I'm gonna have to use a press, but alright, we got all three bearings out, and I did manage to scratch up the sidewall with the socket, and I did struggle with that last one a little bit. As you can tell, it's got pretty beat up. Yeah, these bearings were in desperate need of being changed. So we'll get this part cleaned up and powder coated. Here it is out of the oven with the first base coat, which is that chrome. Then we're gonna go with a blue. Then after the blue, we're going with a Casper clear. So I'll wait for this part to cool down till I can touch it, and then I'll spray the blue on. Start spraying on this blue. All into the oven. For 12 minutes. I'll check on that when it's done. So for this linkage, I got new bearings. This is an all balls bearing kit I got from motorsport.com. And before I put the bearings in, I went ahead and I sanded the inside with the Scotch-Brite wheel attached to a Dremel because there was some pitting in there. So I just took all that high material off with the Scotch-Brite wheel. So we'll go ahead and go to the press and press all these bearings in. Here we are. I got all 5 bearings put in this linkage and all greased up. So when I was putting these in, I used the vise and a socket, and I used a digital caliper to help me figure out how deep to press the bearings in. Finally got that lower bearing pulled off the triple clamp. I definitely struggled with this one. This one definitely needed replaced. And it kind of just fell apart after I started whacking on it a little bit. Yeah, I did end up cutting this with the grinder. Try to make sure I didn't nick the triple clamp a little bit, but shouldn't do too much damage. And I also got the casting marks out. Still gotta do it on this one, but yeah. Then I'll get these thrown in the sandblast cabinet and get them ready for some Cerakote. So instead of doing each part separately, I decided to do just big batches of parts for the Cerakote. So here we're gonna do blue titanium on these parts that are hanging, and then down here I'll do black on these parts up here. And then down here I'll do all these bolts and nuts, burnt bronze. So before I start painting on the Cerakote, I let the parts soak in acetone for about an hour, and I threw them in the oven for about an hour to get all the residue off. So, and I got the Cerakote from I think this is the same company, Prismatic Powders. So you do an 18 parts of this to 1 part of hardener. So, and that's for a satin finish. There's also a 24-to-1, I think, for a gloss finish. is 18. And we take a rubber glove, cover the top with it. And give it a shake. Got the parts pulled out of the oven. I really like this Cerakote. It's pretty nice stuff. Gives a nice finish, for sure. Yeah, I think this blue and black will be a pretty cool color combo, for sure. So we'll start Cerakoting more parts and get to it. So I finished up spraying on the blue parts on the bike, including the steering stem. Got the bolts on there. I think it turned out pretty good. So for this steering stem, I got the Pivot Works rebuild kit because of the 2 bearings, some grease, and some washers or some seals. I got an extra race. I'm just gonna slide on there and hit with the hammer.
I'm out there looking for you where you went. Running late at night to get you back. I know I fucked up and that's a fact. I was just trying to do me, trying to succeed with this music. I know I spent too much time in the studio. I know you don't support that shit, but I need you in my life. That's why I'm looking for you. I'm looking for you. I'm looking for you right now. 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 I'm looking for you right now.
There you go. The bottom steering stem bearing is on. So we'll get the race. We'll put the race inside the frame, and we'll get the steering stem.